So before all this downtime caused by the coronavirus, I had about almost 3 years of downtime where I spent a lot of time alone. So I'm pretty adept at that. And so, but I do know that you have to find things to do in order to kind of keep from going stir crazy. But one of those things that I think is really important to point out is that your overall feeling as far as how healthy or how comfortable you are. So one of those things is if you do if you're stagnant, if you sit alone a lot and don't do much, you start to get stiff. You don't have any sort of circulation going through your muscles. We just become like this big old ball of cramp. So one thing I know is that if you're going to sit still for a long time and you don't have any choice about it, you got to do something for your back because it's going to cause you all kinds of troubles. And I've found that the secret is in the hips. So I've actually corrected my hips and don't really have a whole lot of back problems because of the way I've started treating myself. But this is something you can do for yourself during your downtime. So there came a point in time where I was pretty desperate to relieve myself of the pain and discomfort that I was feeling in my back. I wasn't always able to go to the chiropractor, can't pay for that. But I had been to a chiropractor enough to know that, if you knew what you were doing right, you could it was easy to pop yourself in. And then once you did, life became a lot more easy with that flexibility. So I took that idea, and I was having all kinds of lower back problems, sciatica, things like that. And I realized that I could just put the fingertips underneath there. It caused a lot of pain, but at the same time, it was a way to stretch your vertebrae, and there's only one way to do that. And that is to, get some flexibility in between there. So my hand is shaped like a wedge. The further you stick it underneath your back, the more your back is forced to bend. And so it's very excruciating at this point. Imagine what it would be like if you get to be like this and be able to handle the pain. Well, that's where I'm at. I went from this to this, okay? And it was all from using this technique, and it's basically everything has gotten better for me. My wrists, ankles, shoulders, back, everything pops in because once your hips are aligned, everything else has the ability to get in alignment, and it wants to. So anyway, this is how it goes. So I'm going to stick my fingers underneath here, just like this. Okay? Got my hands on the outside. Just lay flat. Okay? Now you should be able to feel your hip bones in the back, and there's 2 points. And if they aren't even, if they aren't protruding the same way, then you are out. And that's where you want to put the pressure. I put the fingertips right underneath those hip bones, and that way when I move, when I just lay right here and I stretch, those muscles start to relax. And now when I engage my hips, like all of a sudden, just go like this, man, it pops. Okay, now I'm at the point now where I can put both hands underneath there, straighten my hips out and stretch. But that has been a long time coming. Okay, but you can get there too. And I'm telling you, your life's so much more improved if you can get through this. I mean, it's taken me a long time, and I'm doing adjustments all the time because, having been out all the time, it wants to go out. And now that I've adjusted it and put it back in so frequently, I mean, there's like a little bit of a tug of war, but for the most part, all my joints are where they're supposed to be because I've been persistent and kept at this, and I found so much relief. Okay, so you just gradually start working your hands in there, and over time, you're going to be able to, when you move your hips, okay, it's not comfortable, so you just pop it again if it's out. Okay, so you just move your hands until you can find that place where it's going to pop, and your body won't let you do any more the pain will stop you, basically. It's going to tell you when, okay? Just don't try to push it. Just be gradual about it. Just be, steady as she goes. It's a daily thing. And before you know it, man, you can jump, you can bend, you can squat. My knees don't pop anymore. Okay, well, there's a little bump right there. But, it used to pop every time I stood up. That's because my hips are aligned. And if you've got downtime, rather than make yourself worse, start playing around with this idea and see if you can't improve. I know this works for guys. For girls, apparently, it's not the same. As far as where you put your hands and stuff, I'm not sure how that works, but there's got to be a way to figure it out. And to help yourself. But guys, I know it works for us. So just try messing around with it. See if you can get a little flexibility in your lower back. Get those hips to pop a little bit. And before you know it, you're going to start feeling better. You're welcome.